Hi there. I've been playing with my machine trying to get everything set up to do the edging on these skirts. I've got them both together. So I kept them this way so you can see how cute it would look if you decided to do a double Godet. You can do the Godet. You could do a one on top and then you could do one underneath that's like eyelet or lace or something to that effect. And that would look really cute too, I think, with a double. So, but anyway, there's that other one I finished. Let me take it off the doll. So there's the first one, and this was the second one. And that's basically it. So right now, I went to Walmart yesterday, and for some reason they don't carry brown serger thread. So I ended up buying some regular little spools of, what are they, 300 yards or something. But that's what I'm going to put my edging on. So I played with the different colors. I put them in different locations, the four different colors of brown. And then I ran my machine, I ran some spare fabric through trying to figure out what I like best on my settings. So I pulled my, here's my pencil, I pulled my serger back, and it tells you how to do a rolled edge stitch. It says your upper looper, your upper loopers 1 through 4, set your tension there, or your lower loopers 5 through 7, and then your right needle tension is 4. I did those settings, I didn't care for it. And then on the bottom it says to do a narrow overlock stitch. Set all your tensions at 4, and then you would just adjust it as necessary. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my tension. I have all my tensions set at 4. I've got my side dial set for 1, R, and R, and I've taken off my knife on the inside. So basically, it's gone. So we're all set to serge now with what we have the machine set at. We need to do the rolled hem. Okay, so we'll go ahead and you want to practice on one. So how I do mine is I pick a spot on I have my cutter up, because I think I've tried it with the cutter up and the cutter down, and the first time through I've had better luck with the cutter up. So on this one, when you're doing your, since this is the same as the skirt, with the, I gave myself more than 1/4 inch, half an inch on these ones. So I ended up with a little bit of the fabric instead of coming to a direct point. But what I did on the inside is I pushed all my seams to the outside, and it seems to lie better than if well, this one ended up going on the inside. But when you're dealing with the double fabric, with the organdy, with the organza organdy, it's better if you put a really narrow line of stitching as close to the edge as possible. And the reason I say that is because when you're working on the serger, this organza tends to shift off of whatever fabric you're working on. So that's my suggestion. That's what I did on this one, and I didn't have any trouble. I didn't have any shifting or nothing. It just went right through. But like I said, the only problem was I lost my stars on the back. Okay, so this is basically how you end up with, you just add a bodice or a halter top, whatever you want to add to the top, and that's the top. You can use any pattern you have or design your own. But on the side then, I just serge down the side. So at this point now I can just tuck these under and put a invisible zipper or even a regular zipper on these sides. Or you can even do the Velcro, where you just sew the edge of the hard Velcro on one side and then put your soft Velcro on the inside, and then just have a straight flat seam in the back. I don't recommend Velcro on this one though, because of the organza. I'd definitely go with a zipper, or you can use the non-stick Velcro if that's what you like to use. But you know, these bodices are interchangeable. You can put any kind of bodice on there at all. It could be just a regular bodice top with any kind of sleeve. It could be sleeveless. It could be anything you want. Okay, so at this point now I'm going to go ahead and do my serging. Like I said, if you want to be comfortable doing this, you can put a really fine row of stitching along the edging here. And another thing I wanted to mention, if you don't like the whole quarter circle, go with 1/8 of a circle. If you don't like this to be so fluffy and it sticks out like it does, just go 1/8 of a circle. Or say you want to make a mermaid tail, you can just go straight strips all the way down to the bottom and put your little Godet inserts around the bottom and make yourself your own mermaid without having to have, you know, the doll can stand on its own because it's actually a dress. It just looks like a mermaid tail. There's just so many options. There's just, like I say, you can do these all plain color, or you can do them all multicolor. You can make your strips bigger if you want more space in between here and you don't want as many of these Godets to come out. Make your strips wider. Make them wider at the bottom. If you don't want that much flare, make your triangles or your half circles, quarter circles, 1/8 of a circle. You can even go down as low as 1/16 of a circle if that's what you want to do. There's just so many options. You can double these Godets, you can triple them, you can put, you know, like I said, one right on top of the other. You can have everything coordinated, and you can just get the cutest little looks out of this. There's just so many options. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one. I'm going to open up my seams. I'm going to just go ahead and instead of I'm just going to finger press my seams open as we sew on our decorator stitch. So like I said, I'm going to go 4, 4, 4. I've got 3 different colors of brown on my machine. I've already told you what my settings are. I've got my cutter up, and what I'm going to do is get some of the dust out of my machine. Let's see if I can get the camera as close as possible. I'm going to line my fabric up with this little dot right here. Let me show you on a sample piece here. Okay, so here's my little quarter piece. I'm going to put it in my machine. Let me get my presser foot here. Whatever you can put, controller foot. Okay, I'm going to keep my fabric lined up with that first hole on that machine. See it? Because we are working on a curve. So instead of trying to curve it, I'm just going to keep it lined up as good as possible, as well as possible with this second hole on this, on your plate here. So let's just start. Okay, so that's just one run through. Now it's up to you whether or not you want to do another run through on your dress. If you do decide to do another run through, I would suggest that the second time you go through it, you keep your cutter down, because you don't want to cut the existing threads. So take your cutter off, and now let's run it through again and see what we come up with. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't. If you don't want to take the chance of ruining the first time through, sometimes you might go off the edge and you're going to have to do it twice anyway. So I'll just go ahead and run it through twice so you can see what it looks like. You're going to line up with the same hole again. So what you end up is with a really heavy duty double thread. This is what I used on the belts. And what else did I use it on? Yeah, just the belts so far. I didn't use it. I didn't have to do it on the hair ribbons. I didn't have to double it up. This is a little too thick, so I probably wouldn't, on this cotton, I wouldn't do it. I'd just do it one time through. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it one time through with the cutter up on the, so if you go off a little bit, it's not going to hurt, because if you do end up losing something, you're only losing, what, not even 1/8 of an inch of fabric. And by the time you get the whole thing together, it's just not even going to, matter. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you want to sew those open first, might be easier to run them through the machine instead of just taking your chances and hoping that they all stay open. So it's up to you. Let's see, I'll run this one through and see if it works without pre-sewing. So let's just start here, line up with this first hole, and let's just get going. For some reason I'm jammed up. I guess I have too much. Oh, you know what the difference is here? When I did them before, I didn't use that Fray check on the bottom. I wonder if that's causing me a trouble. If that's the problem, you may want to skip the Fray check on the bottom of your middle. Let's try it again. Get through a Fray check. That's it. That is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, so when you're doing your center pieces, don't Fray check the bottom, and then just let the rolled hem edge pick up your seam. I didn't know what would happen with that. Well, now we know. Okay, so no Fray check on the bottom of your inside pieces, and you'll have better luck getting the rolled hem to go on evenly. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, so don't Fray check your bottom of your inside pieces. Huh, interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, open up my seam here. Open it up. Yep, I hit that glue. I don't know what it's doing to my needle either. It might be dulling my needle. Okay, let's see how we did. Alright, so that's the problem. See how that, well, not too bad. Yep, every time I hit that seam, we got a little bit of extra fabric showing up there. So you might want to just, if you've already fray checked your pieces, you might want to just, where's the piece? You might want to just cut that off, or at least trim it down a little bit. Yeah. Or don't fray check the bottom if you're going to do this. I've already fray checked those too, so I'm probably going to have the same problem. At least now I can go ahead and cut through there. Oh well, live and learn. See, I didn't use the fray check on the first ones I did. So, okay, whoops, let's see. Let's get that out of the way. Let's see what she's going to look like with this one. So there's with that. Oh, kind of cute. Let's take this skirt off. So I'm going to see if I can trim the edges on the inside of this one a little bit and see if that will help with going through the serger. Let's see. Oh, that is cute. Okay, so skip the fray check on the bottom of the inside. Okay, it didn't bother me when I was hand sewing the tops, but there is the see, you see some white coming through, but that's because the white in the fabric. That's cute. Let's see how much extra we have in the back. So this one we're going to really have to turn under and turn under. We've got quite a bit. That's what I was talking about, that overlap. But okay, so there's that one. It is kind of cute, isn't it? So we'll have to see what kind of fabric we're going to use for a bodice. Let's see if I have some there. There is the, maybe I have enough of this peach. That would be cute. She'll stand up on her own. She won't. We'll see what we got here. Something like that, or a bodice. That would be kind of cute. It's about the brown. So it's just picking your colors. I mean, you can do so much with these skirts and these little halter tops. Brown might be really pretty with the brown edging. Yeah, that might be pretty too. Even the off-white might look nice. Okay, so I don't know. Now that I know what I did wrong, I may go through and put another cover on this and go with the extra thick and see if I can get rid of some of these thicker edges. If I just cut this off right now and run it through again, I'll be the fray check will be gone, and I might get a better finish, a better cover. Okay, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this whole thing off, and I'm going to run it through again, and then that means I'm going to have most of the fray check cut off, and I might get a smoother finish. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do that. I didn't even think about the fray check on something like that. Isn't that funny when you think you have something so good, and then, see, I didn't have any of that problem on this without the fray check. Sorry for that, excuse me, sorry for that abrupt ending on the last video. I've only got 20 minutes on this camera and I keep forgetting. Okay, so while I was gone, I cut off that whole entire row of stitching. If that happens to you, you can do the same thing. If you didn't get a nice coverage that you thought was pretty, just cut it off and just do it again. It's not the end of the world, you know. It's something that can just be done, and you have enough room on your dress to continue again. So this time what I did is I went and I got my other sewing machine out, and I stitched down all my edges. I don't know if you can see where I did that. I just stitched down my edges. I started running through, but it was fraying the fabric, so I just stopped and just did a little quick sew down to where my seams were. And I'm thinking that once I did that, when I went to hit the serge on that lump where that fabric is bulky like that, maybe it won't be so jarring. So that's what I did. So we're going to run it through again. This time we've got our seams where we want them by lightly sewing them down. So let's try it again and see if we have a better coverage on our rolled hem. Okay, so we're going to get to the right foot here. Okay, let's go. Got my cutter up. Yep, I got my cutter up. Okay, that was it. I'm getting very nice coverage. So it's the fray check. Forget the fray check. I'm back to not liking it again. Oh yeah, it's getting beautiful. Yep, I'm getting much beautiful coverage. Much better coverage. So it was the fray check. So yeah, skip that. And you notice I don't get the jarring either after laying these stitches down. Much nicer coverage. Still static electricity in here. I got my humidifier out and turned it on to see if that'll help. Hopefully it will. Go. Much nicer coverage. Yeah, it still sticks out a little bit, I think maybe because you have so much fabric on those corners, but it's much nicer than it was before. Definitely much nicer. much nicer coverage. So, but that's just the nature of the beast anyway. When you have a decorative rolled hem like that, it's just like a napkin coverage. So anyway, that's basically all there is to the skirt part. Let's see how it looks. And there it is. And what happened was we ended up losing just a little bit. We had gone to such a point that it really made no difference in the skirt. So there you go. There is the skirt with the decorative hem, rolled hem. I think it'll be cute. So all we gotta do is make some kind of bodice now. And you can trim some of these if you have some, like a little piece of fabric that sticks out or something. You can trim them down. But you know, that's just details. Okay, so there we go. I got from cutting that thing off, I got pieces of fabric everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to add her top, and basically that's all there is to a godet. You can just put a waistband on here. You just take a piece of fabric, put a waistband on here, put a piece of, sew it up, and put a little snap here, and you have a little skirt. You know, you can put a hot pink shirt on this, or even a brown shirt. Any of these would be really cute. You don't have to make it into a dress. You can just make it into a skirt. Okay, so I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.